The Ucayali region is located in the center of the oriental part of the Peruvian territory. In this zone, the nominated low jungle, or Amazonian plain, has a surface area of 102,517 kilometers, equivalent to 8% of the national territory. The climate corresponds to the humid tropical rainforest with an annual precipitation of 2,700 inches, an average temperature of 27 degrees Celsius, with a humidity of 75%. The region's economy is basically supported by the sectors of farming, manufacturing, and commerce. Within the farming sector, the acquisition and sale of lumber represents the region's primary income. The second is agriculture. The agricultural activities are developed in highly varied ecological surfaces. Swamps, beaches, and restingas, characterized by their soil and location, which experience natural fertilization during the flood season. Consequently, high terrain is characterized by poor, arid soil lacking in humidity. The principal crops of the region are plantain, rice, corn, yucca, beans, palm oil, peanuts, citrus, and other fruits. The primary diet of the Amazonian population, however, consists of plantain and banana, which has diminished in kilograms per hectare due to Sigatoka nigra. What is Sigatoka nigra? It is a fungus that has destroyed hundreds of thousands of hectares of plantain and banana plantations in some countries of Central America, Panama, Colombia, Peru, Ecuador, Venezuela, and other Caribbean countries. The ministries of agriculture in all of these countries have utilized every possible method to eradicate this plague. They have used chemical control, biological control, cultural control, legal control, and cloning methods developed in Cuba, but the epidemic keeps spreading. The use of known chemicals like insecticides, pesticides, and herbicides with nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium worked for a while, and then it reached a point where they had to fumigate every 2 weeks by helicopter and airplane to contain the epidemic. At this point, the cost of these chemicals, in actuality, reached over 30% of the cost of production, and has also destroyed the soil to the point where nothing grows. The farmers are then forced to abandon the land. Utilizing ancient healing techniques through pyramid fires based on nature's basic biorhythms of sunrise and sunset, full moon, new moon, and others, we can show how this sickness can be eradicated. Of these, there exists a technique called Homa agriculture, the immediate objective of which is the utilization of Homa therapy for the eradication of Sigatoka nigra from plantations of plantain and banana. It has also been cited in eradication of plagues and sicknesses affecting other plantations near the Ucayali regions. Our recommendation is to rejuvenate the soil with Homa therapy techniques so crops can grow healthy and abundant, and also to establish new forests utilizing Homa therapy methods. The people responsible for this alternative project are Dr. Gloria Guzman, Irma Garcia, and engineer Louis Mahmoud. The project was designed and directed by this group of specialists under the guidance of Vasant Paranjpe from India, and author of the book Homa Therapy, Our Last Chance. How does Homa therapy work? This therapy is based on healing techniques used by our South American ancestors who knew much of the natural aspects of the sun. The rising of the sun is described as such. The many fire, electricities, ethers, and more subtle energies emanating from the sun extend all the way to the earth and produce a flood effect at those coordinates where the sun is said to rise. It is awesome. The flood enlivens and purifies everything in its path, destroying what is impure in its wake. This torrent of life-sustaining energies causes all life to rejoice. At sunrise, that music can be heard. The morning Agnihotra mantra is the essence of that music. It is the quintessential sound of that flood. At sunset, the flood recedes. How does homotherapy affect the ecology? The soil, water, atmosphere, and the underground water are contaminated by different types of metals and non-metallic substances and also toxic gases. The first step is to rejuvenate the soil by different methods of homotherapy. Once the soil has been rejuvenated, different types of microorganisms, starting at the level of virus, bacteria, fungus, and algae, grow and prosper. Then healthy microflora and microfauna are created. As a result, the microenvironment is changed to one that is less toxic for the plants that are growing there. The soil is now alive thanks to the new presence of microorganisms which have all the components to create life in the form of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen, according to the latest theories. These three elements together give life to bacteria that work to maintain the soil's phosphorus level. After the creation of such a microenvironment, creatures like earthworms reproduce and prosper. They eat and digest, therefore nurturing and aerating the soil. It is proven that when you add Agnihotra ash to the soil, it increases the water-soluble phosphate in the soil, and the nutrients are absorbed by the root cilia easily. The absorption of meganutrients such as nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium through small cells and active transport are helped by homoatmosphere. It is the resonance that heals the plants, soil, water, and air. The Agnihotra pyramid has very specific measurements. The material has to be made from either gold or copper. The specific frequency, which emanates from the different steps in the pyramid, is a major healing force. All scientists are invited to research and gain their own proof of the resonance which occurs in the pyramid. It is the resonance that heals. That is how the plagues and epidemics disappear from the plant life. Great areas can be treated to eradicate the sickness of the plants from one place, which acts as a generator of healing energies. Ancient science declares that the resonance invigorates plant cells and helps the procreative cycle. The materials used are dried cow dung, clarified cow butter, brown raw rice, and optional are medicinal herbs and wood from specific medicinal trees. The exact timing for the fire has been calculated by scientists in Germany and is based on one specific definition of sunrise and sunset. There has been unimaginable destruction of the Earth's vegetation, and there is a progressive degradation of the soil. It has reached a state where the forest ecosystem is deteriorating, making the soil turn arid. This encroaching movement transforms the land and forces the population to migrate and look for better conditions, causing an increase of social tensions and refugee populations, all due to the change in the ecosystem. We have to think in terms of development for children and women. The restoration of the ecosystem is the task at hand. Then comes reforestation and the rehabilitation of the forest systems. Especially in zones affected by droughts and desertification, in which the ecosystem has become very fragile. The successful experiences in our region applying homotherapy techniques can be found in the Requena district, where the eradication of the Sigatoka nigra fungus was achieved in demonstration plots of land, of plantains, and bananas. The regional government documented and certified these findings and have advocated their use in several regions. Thanks to the support of the Ucayali regional government to be transferred to the whole region's cultures. From the cultures of a millennia ago, our historic ancestors knew how to live in harmony with the environment and reached such an equilibrium that nowadays it is impossible for us to comprehend their advanced agriculture and social development. We must rediscover their techniques and apply them in order to have a better life and leave a better world for our children.